Not to, I don't want to be completely ridiculous, but just not be so uptight. I am recording. I try to tell y'all when I'm recording. Sometimes I'll go on and hit record just so I don't forget to hit record. But y'all still got a minute to kind of get, situated. We are going to take a few notes. We still might not get to that third thing today because I want to review what we talked about yesterday. I try not to make it take too long. So you need something to write with or write on or however you're going to do your notes. And let me see who we've got and who we're missing. Where's Lola? And where's Raja? Maybe they're coming on. That's not what I want. And then got Cat. And Lola. Unfreeze it. Because I don't want to hold you up from your lunch just because somebody's 3, 4, 5 minutes hanging back. All right. So this is just kind of very quickly, or as quick as you want me to, Zay. Because if you want me to stop and talk about something for a second, I'll gladly do it, or I'll do it at the end of class. Okay. All right. Give you ready to go. All right. I am going to the basketball game today, and I'm telling you that because I'm going to stay here and I got some stuff to grade. If it's not in, I'll send you this is the only thing I'll send through school email is, hey, don't forget to turn this in, because there's a little automated thing I can use in the grade book. So that if you, like Kat, he might think he turned something in, but it didn't go through. If you get that email that says no submission for or something like that, it means it really didn't go through. And now I'm sending you that email so I can say, hey, this didn't come through. I need it so I can grade it. Hello. How you doing? Good. Okay. So you check those emails. No, I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying don't forget to turn this in. Okay. And I won't lock anything unless I say, hey, I'm about to lock all these assignments. Something like that. I'll say, I'm going to lock all these assignments because you ain't turning them in, so I'm going to lock them. So we talked yesterday about how a word, it could be the same exact word in every sentence, but it's doing a different job. Like the word left here is an adverb. Here it's describing a noun, so it's an adjective. Here it's a verb telling what somebody did. So depending on what the word is doing in the sentence, might be a different part of speech altogether. So you can't depend on the word ball to be a noun in every single sentence. Because if you say, man, those guys were balling last night, like on the court, but then balling now is a verb. So you can't depend on the word ball to be a noun all the time. So these are little words we talked about yesterday. The ones I'm going to say most often or be worried about most often is going to be nouns, verbs, prepositions, and then I'm usually going to say fanboys and subordinating conjunctions. I say that stuff a lot. I'll say, you got a subordinating conjunction right there, first word in the sentence, and then I'll just keep right on walking. But my goal is that you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We talked about words that did not need to be capitalized And if it's somebody's name or the name of something like EMCC, it does need to be capitalized. We're just doing some review. We hadn't got to anything new yet. And then if a word ends in NESS or TION, it's a noun. If you can own it, it's a noun. If you can count it, it's a noun. So, and then A, N, and the will point to nouns. A car, a job, okay? A situation, those are going to be nouns. In American English, collective nouns like team and family are usually considered to be singular. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In British English, they're more likely to switch back and forth between singular and plural collective nouns, but we just usually treat most of them as singular. Whenever you do turn in notes, I don't expect everybody's notes to be identical because different people like may write more or type or whatever you're doing more than others. As long as you get the basics down, I'm pretty good with it. All right. So here's that A, N, and the again. A, Ferrari. So Ferrari is a noun. It's a proper noun. That's why it's capitalized. But then you also have adjectives that describe nouns. So if I see an adjective track back to a word, then I can go, okay, that word's probably a noun because an adjective is describing it. We weren't really worried about noun phrases yesterday. What we were worried about was that those verb phrases, because several words can work together to be one, make a verb. Should, verb, main verb, verb phrase. Hey, Ty, we're reviewing right now, and we're about to get to some new stuff. We talked a little bit about pronouns. Now this I do want you to write down. So this will be the first thing I think I asked you to write down. This pink part. Just this part right here. A lot of times you'll be looking at a sentence and I'll kind of mess with you a little bit. Not trying to make you mad or anything, but just trying to get you practiced in with finding your own errors. And I'll say, all right, Gentry, what's the subject of that sentence? And Gentry will be hunting all over for it. And it'll be some word like it. And it looks like a weak little word, but it's a pronoun. Subjects are always nouns or pronouns, so the word it can absolutely be the subject of a sentence. And it gets used a lot as a subject. Now, there's all kinds of pronouns. Mostly what we're worried about in here are the subject pronouns. And you will catch me be wrong here and there. If you see it, call it out. But as far as I know, these are the only singular subject pronouns except for the indefinites. And these are the only plural subject pronouns except for the indefinites. We'll get to them in a second. They're in a whole little world on their own. Now, I circled the word I for a reason. So you want to maybe put a star by it or circle it or something. Because it is a singular subject pronoun, but it acts different when it's in a subject-verb relationship. We'll talk about that later. Tell me if I go too fast. And you need to, you didn't get it all written down like you wanted it or typed or whatever you're doing. All right, then you got these indefinite pronouns, and they will mess you up sometimes if you'll write this stuff in the pink right here. You can't use the word you in here. There is an exception to that, and I will address it, but most of the time you cannot use any form of the word you. And I'll help you get it out, and I'll constantly nag you about it. Nagging is my superpower, by the way. If I was a hero, But if a word ends in one body or thing, like everybody, anyone, and so forth, it's singular. Singular means one. Everybody looks plural. And in your mind and your own good common sense, you know that everybody's talking about more than one person. But when it comes to grammar, the word everybody is treated like this. Every one body at a time. That's important when you're dealing with pronoun antecedent agreement, which is way long way from here, and subject verb agreement. Now some indefinite pronouns are always plural, and those plural ones don't usually cause any kind of issues. These can also be adjectives. I ate both cans of ravioli. Now both is an adjective. Both arrived on time. Now both is being a subject. And then sometimes these can be singular or plural. I will address that individually with different students as it comes up. It's usually not a problem. I'm just scrolling up a little bit. I'm not passing it. Then you got this, that, these, and those. And remember, those can be subjects. They can be adjectives. If you look right here, you see right here where it's sitting in the subject seat, that's usually where the subject is sitting. Whoever's doing something, it's usually sitting right there. It's being a subject right there. But if I said, that girl has on a beautiful sweater, that girl, now the word that is an adjective and it's describing something. And then you got these little things right here. Remember, what? A little too happy there with the clicking. Remember that these will start those monsters called dependent clauses. And dependent clauses are awesome as long as they're connected to independent clauses. Dependent clauses are fragments for some reason. It can be all kinds of reasons. Then you got these little adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe only nouns or pronouns. So if you're seeing an adjective in a sentence, you can track it back to a noun. Most of the time, the adjective is going to come right next to the noun, just like this, right where we want it to be. But sometimes the adjective comes after the noun or pronoun. So sometimes you're going to track it back. Then you got a, and, or the. Don't forget about a, and, or the. They're special adjectives, and they'll be pointing to nouns. All right. Then we talked about, I don't talk about adverbs a whole lot. I don't see where, I guess I scrolled past it or something. I don't know. Maybe it's next. All right. But we talked about verbs. Now I got real serious about verbs. We got serious about the nouns because the nouns are subjects or pronouns. Then I got real serious about the verbs too. And actually, if you want to be proper, it's really serious, but I don't always speak properly. Okay. Verbs, sometimes you can see it. You can see me like raising get my eyes all wide. You can see me talking and moving around, right? So these are verbs that you can see happening. But I'm also thinking, and I'm thinking, what time is it? But you can't see that happening. So some verbs and you can't see. And then you've got these even trickier ones right here that are verbs. And you can't see somebody wasn't, right? But it is a verb. And if you see one of these little words like this, stay with me now, Nuke. Stay with me now. I know what's out there is way more interesting than what's going on in here, but I want you to ace that exam, which is in 7 weeks, because we just made it through the first week. This week is done. 7 weeks. So sometimes, Nuke, these little helping verbs, they'll combine with other verbs to make verb phrases. So verb phrases and prepositional phrases. That's usually the only phrases we're worried about. I don't talk about any other kind of phrases. Verb phrases, prepositional phrases. We're getting to the prepositional phrases right now. We're just waking up that old information from yesterday. Write these down for me, please. These are little helping verbs. Some of them might be linking verbs, but we're not going to worry about all those kind of terms. They're just little verbs, is what they are. If you see one of those words in a sentence, bless you, darling, it's verbing. And it may be verbing all by itself, or it may be creating a verb phrase with another verb. You see these little verb phrases down here. Might be going, will have been. Let me get my notes right here. I know what I'm doing. There's the adverbs. I don't really talk about adverbs a whole lot. They don't usually cause problems. So a lot of times when I see them in your paper, if it needs something fixed, I just say put an ly on that or something like that. They don't cause a whole lot of problems. Now prepositions. No, I'm serious for real. You got to know these prepositions for several reasons. They cause us a comma situation. And if you got problems with commas, right? And don't we all? Nobody ever knows where a comma goes. Prepositions is going to help you with that. All right, I want you to pick out any 10 of those and write those down. They are called prepositions. And you're probably like, if you don't remember anything from 7th and 8th grade, you're going to remember these prepositions. And if you don't quite remember it right now, you will in a second. So write down about 10 of those. Pick any 10 you want, the ones you use the most. You remember these, Rachel? These little prepositions. Sometimes your English teachers will be like, anything a rabbit can do to a log or something, like you can go over the log, under the log, all that stuff. But there are some other ones that are a little like this word. I didn't know for the longest time that could be a preposition, but it sure can. Sometimes it can be a verb, like I like you. Like is a verb now. Sometimes I'm pausing because I'm watching somebody get finished with something. So. All right. Then you've got some that there'll be multi-word prepositions. So sometimes you have 2 or 3 words that they'll combine up together to make a preposition, but it shouldn't cause you any problems. As long as you can recognize these little ones right here, you should be able to recognize the big ones too. Okay. Now, write the blue stuff down. Let me make it right. Hold on. Y'all can see that? Okay. Write the blue stuff right here, please, while I'm talking. So a prepositional phrase, prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is always going to start with a preposition, and it's always going to end with a noun or a pronoun. There can be all kinds of stuff in the middle. It's usually an a, an, or a the, but sometimes there can be some adjectives and things in there too. But it's always going to start with a preposition, and it's always going to end in a noun. And you can string them together. I went in the door, down the hall, past his office. See how I strung those together? And you can see these little prepositional phrases right here into two pieces. Preposition, adjective, noun. Let me get rid of that. With the flowers, preposition, article, noun, but it's always going to start with a preposition, always going to end with a noun. And this is what you need to know, Zay, that nothing in the prepositional phrase will ever, ever, ever be the subject of a sentence. Even when it makes sense, it's still not going to be the grammatical subject of the sentence. And that's what we care about, is finding our grammatical subject. You'll see what I mean in a minute. And then we're going to talk about conjunctions later. All right. I'm trying to work on going slow. It's really hard. So I make copies of these every semester. And I will constantly be pushing them in your face, and you'll say, I've already got 3 of them, Miss Pendergrass. Okay? But I will always try to make sure that you have one at hand, because I'm always referring to it all the time. No. No. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Behave. All right. I know sometimes it just makes you feel like, you ain't just all work, right? Like sometimes when I do work, I'll have something in the background, I ain't really paying attention to it. So I want you 100% it's just what I'm talking. Okay. You got this list of prepositions right here. This is your prepositions, right? Now this isn't all of them, but this is a list of prepositions right here. First column. Okay? First column. So you'll need them in a second. Instead of having to write all your answers down, I just make copies of the whole thing. Put a cat up here to sit at my desk with me. Yeah. I'll make so many copies. But you can write on these. If you mess it up, I will give you another one. No big deal. You're going to take a picture of it and send it in with your notes. Sir? All right. All right. So you got your list of prepositions right there next to you. And you got these 1 through 10 right here. So in number one, you've got one prepositional phrase is 2 words. In number one, you got one prepositional phrase and it's 2 words. And it starts with, there we go. Okay. And number 2, I'm just going to do a couple of them with you till you kind of get warmed up a little bit. Number 2, you got one prepositional phrase and it's got 2 words in it. And I'll tell you this, prepositional phrases do not have verbs in them. See, I looked at that one too. That one stopped me last class. But this is actually something called a subordinate clause. So it's not a prepositional phrase. So let's ignore that. I meant touch. By lightning. But I sure did look at that one hard in my last class. All right. Now in number 3, you've got 2 prepositional phrases, and both of them have 3 words in them. That's it. That's it. And, oh, I'm sorry. What's the other one? In a shelter. I told y'all I get excited about this stuff and I'll be highlighting answers. All right, y'all try to get the 4 through 10. See what you can find. You don't have to just sit there like I'm going to get mad at you if you talk. If you want to ask a question about them and say, is this it for number 7 or something like that, or talk to each other, whatever. Look at your sheet, because you know the prepositional phrases are always going to start with prepositions, and they will not have verbs in them. And we don't come to school Monday, y'all. Y'all still got to be here?
No, the coaches, yeah. So they can drive the snow.
All I'm seeing is one prepositional phrase and all the rest of them. What, baby? Yeah, I didn't, say that again. Right. Okay. Yes. All the ones I'm seeing are 3-word prepositional phrases, except for one that's 4 words. Did that answer your question? Okay. Okay. Yes, they are connected. They have the 3 words in them, but I'm only seeing one phrase in each one. Yeah. Not like none of them have 2 phrases. All right, Kat. You finding them prepositional phrases? Got them? All right, now. You're going to be singing the blues in 7 weeks when we do that exam, and you're asking me what a prepositional phrase is, and I'm going to say, I don't know what is one. Because I'll be mean that last week now. All right, there's your answers. If you've got something wrong, fix it. Excellent, excellent. I cannot stress enough how important it is to be able to find these prepositions. You will see. You just got to trust me. And I asked y'all the first day, I think, I know it's hard to just trust people right off the bat like that, but I'm just going to ask you to trust me. If I lose your trust, then I will pay the price for that. But if you'll just trust me right now, I will get you there. Just follow me. I'll get you there. All right, then go on down to the second one, and you can find those prepositional phrases, and I'll do a couple of them. And if you mark something wrong, just fix it. Sure, I sure can. See, this looks like a prepositional phrase too, but it's actually a subordinate clause. And I know it because it's got a verb in it. I'll just phrase it right there. Well, no, I'm going to do a couple of them in the first one. Let's just do 1 through 5. You can do them all if you want to. But I'm just going to do 1 through 5, and then we're going to do something else. What, baby? Oh, it's a prepositional phrase. It starts with a preposition, ends with a noun. Preposition, yeah. Do 1 through 5 on this little paragraph. And the reason I say do 1 through 5 is I think we're going to bring this sheet back out on Tuesday and do 6 through 10, because then it'll wake it back up for you, because you'll forget a lot of stuff between now and Tuesday. Here's the prepositional phrase in number 2.
Can I get Tuesday off?
What for?
Because my birthday.
Oh my gosh, there's so many birthdays. Is it tomorrow?
So it's not gonna count tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
I ain't remember the way.
Oh my goodness. I want to give you an A for your birthday. What I want to do.
Okay, my
But you got to be here to get the A. You got to be here. I'll try not to make it painful. All right. And then number 3. How you finding them? Are they popping up for you a little bit? Okay. There's one. Now this little one that's got a TO. Now TO can be a preposition, but this one is not. It's something else. Because this has got a verb in it. I'll check the answers, but I'm 99% sure that's not a prepositional phrase. It's called an infinitive. And then this one is going to be one of those multi-word prepositional phrases. It's got the because of. Because you're going to see in a little while, not today, that subordinating conjunctions and prepositions, they kind of do the same thing. And then with nonviolence, see it? And then this little thing, this little bitty one right here, that's a little bitty prepositional phrase. Little bitty tiny one. Anything bother you about that, or you feel like something's not right, or you don't understand? Everything good.
We'll gain freedom is
Which one now?
We'll gain freedom in one street.
Got that verb in it. Yeah, got that verb in it. It's all right. It's all right. You gotta have, I don't want to underestimate, I don't want to is it underestimate? How much you need to know and make you think you don't need to know that much, because you do, but you don't have to know it well enough to teach it or write a book on it or something. You just gotta know the terms so that when I say something, it's not brand new. All right, y'all phone people now. You just see. Y'all be playing. I'm gonna play too. Y'all be asking me questions and I'm gonna say, I don't know, ask your phone. I'll be mean sometimes. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do next. Dreaming, dreams, and nightmares. What makes you have a dream or a nightmare? How does that happen in your brain? So we're going to talk about sleep, because that's what our first essay is going to be on, is sleep and all kinds of things like that. But we're going to do a warm-up assignment first. Now the warm-up assignment, it's not part of the pre-writing or the essay. So this is not the essay. I don't want you to be geared up and go, okay, she wants an essay. I don't. This is just to warm you up, to activate and access that information that you already have about sleeping and dreaming and all that stuff. Just kind of gear you up for writing about it and generating some ideas. Now that said, now listen to this part. Is this important? However, whatever we talk about and watch today, you can reuse that information in your pre-writing in your essay. This assignment itself is not the pre-writing or the essay, but you can reuse that information later. Like you can say, well, we watched a video in class last week and this video talked about that. That can be part of your details. Because remember, I told you I was going to tell you how to generate word count. I'm telling you, this can be part of your word count. All right. So when you do warm-ups, I'm not looking for pre-writing or plans. You can certainly do it, but I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for topic sentences or closing sentences. It's just more of a, you're talking to me. It's a casual, it's sweatpants and a hoodie. It's not a prom dress. The essay is more like the prom dress and the heels and the hair and the nails. It's going to be 100 to 120 words. And I'd rather have the low end than the high end. Don't give me more. But we're going to do something real quick first. And we may not even get to the writing part of it. But since you said that, I want to tell you something that I learned from the first class. While this dude is talking, just little one-word notes, you might want to jot that down so you remember what he said, because the first thing you got to do in the first half of the assignment is summarize the video in your own words. You don't have to quote anything. And Nuke, you don't have to tell me everything that this guy talks about in this video. But just, yes, sir.
Can we go take and watch it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. But I don't want you to even feel like, what I want you to focus on is, what do I actually remember? Try to force your brain to remember what was said and see what you actually can, because it's kind of exercising your brain. And then you're just writing me like 3 or 4 sentences. Hey, he talked about this, he talked about that. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to be 1,000% right about it. You're just, this is what I remember from the video. Okay? All right. But yes, you can go back and watch it. Okay? Because I know you want to be right. And then when you do your pre-writing and your essay, you can go back and rewatch the videos because they are linked.
Is that ACT?
Yes. All right. But see, I didn't know, and one thing that happens now, I'm gonna get off on a thing on the side, and Lola's like, don't go off on the side, Miss Pendergrass, stick to the track. But when I do it in my first class, I'm a little slower, and when I get to y'all, it goes faster because I know what I'm doing. But anyway, but the videos are right there in your assignment. But I still don't think we're gonna get to the writing part of it, Nick. That's why I'm asking you to write some notes down, okay? It's 4 minutes. All right. So basically, Nuke, this is what's going on. It's cool. You good? The parts of your brain, tell me if I'm wrong, Ty. The parts of your brain that's taking in information while you're dreaming, while you're awake. You know, you're seeing things, you're experiencing things, you're having emotions and all that. Those parts of your brain are awake while you're dreaming, but the part in the front, your prefrontal cortex, that makes sense of everything is asleep. So you got all these images popping, but the thing that's in your brain that makes everything understandable is asleep. So like if I saw a school bus go by, I would say, oh, there's a school bus, it's got kids on it, there's a driver, they must be going to school or something. But in my dream, there might be a frog driving the school bus over the building because everything's getting all mixed up because the part that's making sense of it all is asleep. So that's why we have dreams and nightmares. All right, let's see what this other guy says. This one's 6 minutes, is a little bit longer. Mm. Say that? Yeah, sleep paralysis. I've had it happen. Have you ever had it happen? It's terrifying because you'll like see demons and ghosts and stuff like that. It ain't never nothing fun. It's all that happened to you.
I know, never.
It happened one time though, like,
It only has to happen one time for you to remember it though, because it is so scary.
I can roll myself over. Like this.
you can't do
And you're trying to scream or something or say, but no word will come out. And you're like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
No, somebody come in there. If you hear me, get up. Get up. What are you doing? Get up.
In my dreams, I always about a fight or something, I can't punch in the back.
Oh my gosh.
It pisses me off.
You be getting beat up.
I don't think getting beat up. It's just when I'm fighting in slow motion. Like, why am I fighting in slow motion?
Then I be dreaming like I'll run away from something, but it still can't be like I can't run.
Mhm.
No, have you ever had a dream like where you walk in the every time you move, you fall in the hole?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know what I mean.
I had a dream about falling out of the sky. I woke up by his ground.
Oh, gosh.
I can't lie to you. I woke up by that ground. I was scared.
It can be scary. I'm always in a haunted house, going from room to room trying to. It's just terrible. Nuke, what are you doing? Nuke, what are you doing?
Hello?
Nuke,
How long we gonna be?
till 12:15. Nuke, you can't be answering your phone like that in class, man. I'm trying to work with you. What you trying to do? Get home? Oh, yeah. So maybe that's why you're getting in fights in your dream, you know?
Why?
Well, but he said that, let's see, right here, during, primitive times, it's like you're rehearsing something bad that could happen to you and what you would do in that situation, which is why Gentry be so mad knowing he could have won this fight, but for whatever.
So he's saying, basically like, okay, so I'm walking past somebody and I can picture me fighting them. And I'm picturing how I'm
Right.
and it happened in my dream.
It can, yeah, that's what he's saying.
I go through that about 5 times a day.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Like, I just want to just punch, like, for some reason, I just want to punch you right in their face. Yes. Yes.
Me too.
Oh, okay. That is the Eagle Nebula.
I ain't never heard of that.
No, me neither. And I'm so dumb about a whole bunch of stuff that sometimes this stuff will just fascinate me. And there's some people out there a whole lot smarter and they know all these things. It fascinates me. I'm not sure why he told us about the Eagle Nebula. I'm still not understanding that, but anyway, I guess he's telling us that there's still a lot about dreams that we don't understand. Because y'all remember in the Bible from Sunday school. You don't remember Sunday school, Anthony? In a long time. But you know that back in like the Old Testament especially, they would interpret dreams. Like there's some Bible stories about interpreting dreams, stuff like that. Well, we'll have to look them up. I can't call them out of memory, but we can look them up because I think there's an essay topic on that. Now let's talk about the essay topic just for a quick second. Just a quick second. Just a quick second. Not enough to make you want to punch me. Your essay does not have to be on this stuff. So I don't want you to feel like you have to know all this stuff that he just talked about. All this warm up is just to get you ready to talk about whatever it is you're going to talk about in your essay. When we get to the essay, which it ain't going to be today, there's going to be several essay topics for you to choose from. All right. So you got your little notes so you remember what the dudes talked about, right? So go ahead. You can even turn in the notes, like if you wrote notes down for the little film, the little videos, you can turn those in too. That way you can definitely get back to them. But you're going to turn this worksheet in, and you're going to turn in the little notes that you wrote down. And if you want to turn in the notes for the video, you can turn that in too. So I want to remind you, because on Tuesday you're not going to remember. You're going to say, what warm up? What sleep video? The first paragraph is you're going to summarize either video or both videos in your own words. And you don't have to tell me everything. We watched this video in class and it was about sleep and the guy said this and I learned that. And then the second paragraph is personal. And you're going to tell me about your own dream situation. Now, I want you to remember this, Anthony. Anthony's, you're trying to leave me. I'm trying to keep you. You're trying to leave me. You ready? You was ready to go when you walked in. Okay. I forgive you. I understand. Remember, if you decide, because some people like to get ahead, if you decide that you want to do anything on this writing assignment, you got to click on all these things first. Otherwise, this ain't going to open. You got it? All right. Y'all are awesome. I'm done with y'all. I'm done. Y'all be. You angry? Why are you angry, baby? Oh, you're hangry. Well, you want to turn in your little worksheet? There's a little thing that'll say add document, I think, or add file or something.
So you said to get to the assignment.
You just got to click it. I want you to know, because when you say, I ain't see where you graded my paper, I'm going to say, well, there's a video that shows you, and you clicked on it. You ain't got to sit there and watch it, but I just want you to know where it is. Okay?
When is that assignment? Tomorrow?
Oh, it ain't due right now. We're going to do it Tuesday. You ain't got to do it. It's just there if you want to.
What's due Tuesday?
Nothing. You've done everything I want you to do. If you want to, like Zariah, she might get bored and want to do it and turn it in. And if you want to do that, that's fine. Otherwise, we will do it Tuesday. I try not to give homework. I really do. Don't punch nobody. It ain't that serious.
It's not.
Don't go to jail because somebody went sideways on you. Just try to let it go. I appreciate you coming to class. I know it's hard sometimes.
I really was in the bed, like, I could cry, like, oh, Lord.
I'm glad you did.